They were rich, handsome, living in one of the most luxurious neighborhoods in America. The Menendez brothers had everything two young men could dream of: sports cars, private tennis coaches, a mansion in Beverly Hills, and parents who were well connected in Hollywood. To outsiders, they were the perfect family. But inside that mansion, something dark was brewing. Something no amount of money could silence. And on the night of August 20th, 1989, that silence was shattered by gunfire. So loud, so violent, it echoed through the walls of privilege and into the heart of America. That night, José and Kitty Menendez were brutally murdered, shotgunned to death in their living room. No forced entry. No signs of robbery. Just horror. And blood. And two sons, Lyle and Erik, who claimed they had just walked in on the aftermath of a mafia hit. But weeks later, those same sons were seen buying Rolex watches, driving luxury cars, and spending their inheritance like nothing ever happened. And soon, the world began to ask a question that would haunt the next decade of true crime history. Did the Menendez brothers kill their parents? And if so, why? José Menendez was a Cuban immigrant who had fought his way to the top. Ruthless, driven, successful. He made his fortune in the entertainment industry, eventually becoming an executive at RCA Records and then the head of live entertainment. He was a man who demanded perfection and tolerated nothing less. Kitty, his wife, had once been a schoolteacher with dreams of being an actress. But those dreams were swallowed by José's career. She became a full-time homemaker, raising their sons in privilege but living in emotional chaos. Friends said she was loving but increasingly unstable. The boys, Lyle and Erik, had different personalities. Lyle, the older one, was brash and cocky. Erik was shy, introspective, but a gifted tennis player. Together, they were spoiled and rebellious. They got into trouble. They were expelled from schools. But no one, not even their closest friends, could have imagined what they were capable of. On the night of the murder, the scene was gruesome. José had been shot in the back of the head while sitting on the couch. Kitty had been shot multiple times, so violently that parts of her body were unrecognizable. When police arrived, Lyle and Erik were sobbing. Hysterical. Erik collapsed to the floor, screaming, "Someone killed my parents." The initial theory. A professional hit. José had business enemies. Kitty had no known threats, but the scene looked execution style. The shotgun blasts were too clean, too deliberate. But something wasn't right. There were no signs of forced entry. No alarms. And then, the brothers' behavior started raising eyebrows. Just days after the murders, they were out shopping. Lyle bought a $15,000 Rolex. Erik bought a Porsche. They hired tennis coaches, flew first class, stayed in luxury hotels. Within 6 months, they had spent over $700,000 of their parents' estate. Still, there was no evidence, just suspicion. And the Menendez brothers were walking free. That is, until a therapist got involved. Dr. Jerome Oziel, a Beverly Hills psychologist, had been treating Erik Menendez. One day, Erik broke down. He told Oziel everything. He confessed. He and Lyle had killed their parents. Cold blood. No mafia. No intruders. Just two sons who had reached their breaking point. But there was a twist. Oziel didn't just listen. He recorded the confession. And his girlfriend, terrified by what she heard, tipped off police. It was all unraveling. Erik and Lyle were arrested in March 1990, nearly 7 months after the murders. America was stunned. These weren't gang members. These weren't hardened criminals. These were wealthy kids from Beverly Hills. So why? Why would they kill the very people who gave them everything? At trial, the defense stunned the world with a bombshell. Lyle and Erik claimed they had been abused, physically, emotionally, and sexually, by their father José. They painted him as a monster, controlling, violent, and their mother, Kitty, as complicit, an alcoholic who knew what was happening and did nothing to stop it. The brothers said they lived in fear. that their father had threatened to kill them if they ever spoke out, that the night of the murders, an argument had erupted. Threats were made, and in a panic, they drove to buy shotguns. They claimed it wasn't murder. It was self-defense. A preemptive strike to stop years of abuse. The jury listened and cried. The case divided the country. Some saw two broken boys pushed to their limit. Others saw cold-blooded killers who wanted money and freedom. The first trial ended in 2 hung juries. But in the second trial, the judge made a critical decision. He barred most of the abuse testimony. The defense was gutted. With the emotional context stripped away, the prosecution painted a cleaner picture. 2 rich kids, greedy for their inheritance, sick of being controlled, decided to murder their parents and lie about it. In 1996, Lyle and Erik were found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. But the story didn't end there. In the years since their conviction, public opinion has shifted. Documentaries, podcasts, and viral TikTok videos have resurrected the case. Some now argue the brothers were victims, not villains. That abuse can drive people to desperation. Others say justice was served. That no amount of trauma excuses murder. Even today, petitions circulate calling for a retrial. Celebrities and advocates debate the fairness of their sentencing. But the law remains unchanged. Lyle and Erik Menendez are still in prison, separated, serving life sentences. They speak through letters, interviews, and they wait, hoping the world might one day see their side. The Menendez case wasn't just about murder. It was about family secrets, about what wealth hides behind closed doors. It forced America to ask, can love and abuse live in the same house? Can trauma justify the unthinkable? Or were these just 2 spoiled killers who thought they could get away with it? One thing is certain. The Menendez brothers shattered the illusion of the perfect family, and left a stain on Beverly Hills that will never be forgotten. Because sometimes, the most dangerous people are the ones who call you mom and dad. If you enjoy gripping true crime stories that go beyond the headlines, filled with mystery, emotion, and real-life twists, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got more powerful stories coming your way, and you won't want to miss a single one. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when a new case drops. Thanks for watching and being part of this growing true crime community. Man Detective Black Heart.